solutions manual. I could show you the solutions manual, but they tend to leave out lines and a little bit have numbers all over the place. So I've handwritten some of these. So when you read them, it's important to get rid of words. So they sell a car for $32,000. So my selling price is $32,000, which it purchases from the manufacturer for $28,000. So think about it. That's a variable cost. So my variable cost is $28,000. They pay $53,000 in rent and utilities, which is a fixed cost, and $69,000 for salespeople salaries, which is also a fixed cost. Generally, wages are a variable cost, but not always. You have to look and see if they have a number of employees they're going to keep on staff and what period of time it's covering, etc. But salaries are fixed. Salespeople are paid a commission of $400 for each car they sell. So that is a variable cost. They also spend $10,500 each month for local advertising. So I've added $10,500. So right here when they say each month, I need to figure out if I have any other issues where I've got a monthly and a yearly thing. And notice they say rent and utilities. Okay, so I really think if this problem would have been better stated, they should have told you the rent and utilities and salaries are also on a monthly basis because there it is, I'm sorry. So each month they pay that in rent. So occasionally you'll run into a problem that they give you yearly information, then monthly information, and you have to make sure you're on the same basis of everything per month or per year. All right, so its tax rate is 40%. So that's all my information there. So my variable costs are $28,400. My fixed costs are $133,200. And so my contribution margin is selling price minus variable costs of $3,600. Okay, the first thing asked for break even. Notice I've taken the shortcut approach for break even, which is fixed cost divided by contribution margin. I could also do selling price times X minus variable cost times X minus fixed cost equals operating income, and operating income at break even is 0. But shortcut, fixed cost divided by contribution margin, I have 37 cars. Next one says, what if their target net income is $69,120? How many cars must be sold to reach the target net income of $69,120? So notice we have a 40% tax rate. In break even, taxes are irrelevant because net income is 0, so therefore you pay no taxes. So I'll show you kind of how I do it, then I'll kind of talk a little bit about your book just kind of starts in step 2. I start in step 1. In my opinion, they start in what I would call step 2. But anyway, so I'm going to take selling price times X because I wanted to solve for X. How many? How many cars? So I'm solving for X. Fixed cost, or selling price times X minus variable cost times X minus fixed cost equals $69,120. But notice the $69,120 is after taxes of 40%. So if this is after taxes and tax rate is 40%, then this is 60% of the remainder. So 60% of this side equals $69,120. And this is, your book immediately takes this divided by the 60%. So you're going to see target operating income divided by 1 minus the tax rate. I always like to think of it, if I'm giving 40% to the IRS, I get to keep 60% of it. Okay, so $32,000 minus $28,400 is your contribution margin, minus your fixed cost equals fixed cost or target profit divided by 1 minus the tax rate. And then I can solve for that, and I get $115,200 as my target operating income, and I solve for, what does question B ask? Not really sure why I have A and B there. What is the target monthly operating income? That's why I have A and B right there. Is $115,200. How many cars must be sold? 69 cars. Now remember, for the test and for everything else, I can actually plug it in there and see if it works. So plug in 69 and 69, and see if you take 60% of that and get 69,120. And you should, maybe a little off due to rounding. Okay, so that's number 26. I hope that helps.